Morning, good afternoon. Mick Ruby here from Mufc RealistTV live for you. 24, 72 hours after the transfer window. Gone, kaput, finished, closed, dusted off. And some media reports coming out to say that, hey, did Ruben Amorim, was he actually given a losing hand here by the Ineos by not getting back? We're going to talk about that. Now he's got even more paper-thin squad, according to latest report. Luke Shaw is injured again. And then we look at the overall reports, knowing that January window was always about clearing out the high wage bill. Well, will Ineos and Ratcliffe and the Glazers have money to spend in the summer for the massive rebuild that is required, of course? And the main story, of course, the topic of today, the ticketing prices, behind the scenes, what is really going on, and the stadium build. Is that another white elephant from Ineos and the stunts from the Glazers? Guys, this is Mick Ruby from Mufc RealistTV. We're going to have a proper conversation. If you are new to the channel, there's only one thing you can do. That is like and subscribe right here, right now. Let's get up to 100 likes minimum on this video. All right, then. So let's jump right into the show, shall we?
And Garnacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go, people. How do you feel today, Wednesday? Have we been gaslighted enough, or are we waking up from the reality? Wake up, smell the coffee. We did a massive video yesterday exposing the Glazers and Ineos intent and really what's going on and why Glazers are hanging on. It's because of all the land banks assets around. And of course, we have natural gas flowing on the Old Trafford, which they want to knock down and move. If you missed that video, have a look at it. It's there, right there. It was published yesterday. But moving on further, of course, we got to assess what is currently going on with the finances. Of course, there was multiple reports saying different contradictory things that, why was the reason why Man United did what they did. We had more outs than actually going ins and leaving Ruben Amorim with a paper-thin squad, with an attack of unexperienced player leading. We have Amad Diallo, we have Xerxes, we have left Højlund, and what? Garnacho. That's it, right? We loaned out Anthony Dos Santos, we loaned out Rashford, and even sold multiple players, right? So basically, it is leaving him paper-thin squad. And of course, Tara Malacia was a late departure on the left-back position. And lo and behold, Luke Shaw is being reported injured again. So we are left with nobody, pretty much. Patrick Dorgo just going to be thrown in straight away into the deep end. And when you think it's getting bad, we're actually going bad to worse. Let's dive right into the stories from what was said and done by Rob Dawson. Let's bring this to the stage, people. Let's start off with this. The Man United are hoping the conservative approach by the January transfer window will allow them to complete a major rebuild of playing squad in the summer. That's according to Rob Dawson. Now, let's talk about that. That is gaslighting their fans again, right? We all know that the finances are dire, right? It is absolutely shambolic. Where are we going to get money? We were looking at to sell Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, the likes of the academy players to fund the January window, which we didn't, obviously. And thank God we didn't, because we are paper thin in the attack anyway. So what's going on here? Will they have money to actually do something in the summer? That's a big question mark. I think that we will rebuild by selling academy players again. 100%. We will. And on the other hand, you look at another contradictory report by saying that Man United face another difficult transfer window in the summer due to limited funds. Yes, it is true. It is true. Let's continue with this story. It is true. Oh my God, it's loading so slow. It's a very slow day, peeps. I'm sorry about this one. God damn it. God damn it. Well, here we go. Manchester United are facing another difficult transfer window in this summer due to limited finances, with the ability to considerably strengthen Ruben Amorim's squad, depending on occurring profit on players' sale. This is according to Jamie Jackson. So which one is it going to be? Are they feeling optimistic that we're going to get business done? We've already been linked to Quenda. We've already been linked to Gurkers, big signings. But yet again, straight after the transfer window, they comes out with a sort of different approach. I believe that it is the lateral stage of what Jamie Jackson is saying, that we are facing difficulties in the transfer window. Why? I did a video over 1 month ago to say that rest in peace Manchester United when I actually looked at the finances. So, of course, they failed to get Casemiro out of the door. Maybe Casemiro will go in the summer. He is the highest earner on the wage bill. Of course, Rashford went to Aston Villa. Of course, Aston Villa is paying 70% of the total wages and potentially a buy option of 40 million, 45 million pounds. That might be something to look for. And that's potentially that you can finance this summer. So, of course, we're always going to look at the, the transfer window, approaching it again with sell to buy. Glazers are not going to put one single penny in the pocket. Glazers are not going to invest in the stadium. We covered this yesterday as well, that Glazers and the Tampa Buccaneers Stadium was built on the finances of sponsors. And the same thing is happening with Manchester United, the land bank asset, what I spoke about yesterday. The Glazers are holding on. They're not going to sell because they own the land bank around the greater Manchester area. Yeah. So there is where they're talking to the council of, Manchester, greater Manchester, to develop that area, create jobs, opportunities, shopping malls, hotels, X, Y, Z. But that is a white elephant because latest report coming in, that's not going to happen until 8 to 10 years. So it gets worse, right? When Ineos took over, they promised a stadium. Of course, they refurbished the Carrington, a little bit training facility just to silence the Lamborghini. They gave us a little bit of a signing in January just to shut us up, yeah? But behind the scene, there's still Glazenomics, in my opinion. Okay, we didn't get our first choice left wing back, but at least something. We got a third choice, unproven entity in Patrick Dorgo that might become a world beater. We keep signing kids and getting rid of senior players. So in 3 years' time, if you look at 2 years' time, Bruno has 2 years left on his contract. We have no senior players. And you're talking about us challenging? Nowhere near. It gets worse, people. It absolutely gets shambolic worse. Now, Taran Malacia was also, sent out for a loan to PSV. And lo and behold, Luke Shaw, injury setback. As soon as Luke Shaw heard that we signed a new left wing back, he went back. He rushed back himself to training, and then, oh my God, he's now injured. Anywhere to be seen another 4 weeks out, subject to change, again, dependent on treatment and rebound. What on earth is going on? This cannot continue. In summer, I beg you not, I kid you not, Mason Mount, 250k a week, Luke Shaw, Mr. 200k a week, spending more time in the hospital bed than being available for the squad. I would say this in the summer, just rip up the contract, just ship them bloody off. Seriously, dodging the bullet, guys. Anyway, want to hear from your thoughts and feelings. How do you feel to be a Man United fan? It's frustrating. I know we're playing, FA Cup against Leicester this weekend, and I'm dying to hear the press conference tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of questions asked. I think that Ineos absolutely lets Ruben down. In a certain ways, the way they conducted themselves in all glory, they were doing terms and business deals on their terms, and they walked away. You look at the overall Matthias Tell deal, they walked away because they wanted to do the business on their terms. They didn't want to pay 10 million loan fee. That's ridiculous. And plus then have an option to buy, an obligation to buy for an unproven entity again. And Patrick Dorgo, they got them on their terms, paying 25 million with installments. That's what Man United do. But anyway, we got to have a conversation regarding this. Anyway, big up everyone that's tuning in this afternoon, this morning, whatever you are streaming from. Hey, how are you? Nias Ahmed. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm chilling. Honest to God, how long is a piece of string, my friend? How much emotional can you more get in touch than get disappointed? It's happened every single January window. There's no value in the market, but at the same time, we need a striker. Hey, you had the planning since October. You looked at October, November, January. They were depending to get a striker, but what did they do? Nothing. What they focused on in the January window was just get rid of players, and obviously so. and then negotiating. There's no value in the market. We're not going to do anything in the January. So we lied to Ruben Amorim when we recruited him in the mid-season, 9 games in. Recruited him in and said, yeah, you probably get back, Ruben. We lied to you. Ruben wanted to stay, come in the summer, this coming summer, so I can have a proper pre-season and a transfer window. Instead, he's left with this shit. Seriously. And now you expect us to reach the finals of Europa League with this thin squad? I mean, beggars cannot be choosers. Ineos, they recruited your man, but you didn't back him in January window, and you expect us to reach the final, win the final Europa League, because that, my friends, will give you 45 to 50 million extra in the kitty for the for the summer window. So there is stingy and there is a tight ass. Now, at the moment, I would say that Ineos and Glazers are tighter than the camel's ass in a sandstorm, keeping it very tight. They didn't want to spend anything. They gave us a little bit of a joyride by recruiting in Haven, an unproven centre-back, and also Patrick Dogo, of course, number 13. So I'm excited to see him. Big up Yoleman in the house as well, what you are saying. There are two different stories. One, United need to sell to buy. The other, United can now spend in the summer, which is most likely the truth. Well, I guess they did prepare for the summer window, Yale. I guess that this January window was never to spend anything. The money that you saved on the wages from departure of Anthony Dos Santos was being utilized. Also, the money, the wages that was saved on Rashford, with Aston Villa taking 70-75%, would also been utilized for potentially for Dogo deal and also Haven deal. But the rest, I think it's more likely that they are preparing the financial year for the summer. Then you look at City. Everyone say, wow, how could City spend over 200 million this January window? Didn't madness, because City did not spend any single penny in the summer window. So they went and spent everything here in January preparing for the summer. We might have gone and spoken to Quenda, the right wing back, Ruben Amorim's prodigy, to say, well, we might get you for 40 million. We might have done a pre-deal already, lined up, the targets for summer. But so far, Ineos is keeping a tight lid. And of course, we feel like we've been treated like it's the Glazeronomics again. Nobody's talking, nobody's telling, and media has been utilizing as mouthpieces, y'all. So yeah, definitely there's been contradictory reports. One saying that we're not going to be spending Rob Dawson, and the other one was Jamie Jackson's that say, well, most likely we need to sell to buy, man. Big up Nick, what you saying here? Big up Nick. Leave Ruben to his own devices. He's a great coach, in my opinion. This man's building a team for the future. Blame goes to the awful way this club has recruited over the last decade. Yeah, 100%, my friend. Look, nothing wrong about Ruben Amorim. I love Ruben, but I just feel sorry for him that you can see that he's suffering. Like, when we played Crystal Palace, he deliberately kind of didn't line up with the striker to send a message to the board. He cried out, I need a striker. Can you imagine that our most senior striker, Rasmus Højlund, is 22 years of age? Nobody to look up for. Man United used to be blessed with strikers partnerships. We're talking about Cole, Yorkie, Solskjaer, Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, and even the latest, before this, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. Hey, we even have Cavani and Zlatans. And look at this now. We're not scoring anything. We have a young, unexperienced firing line. And now you're talking about we are not going to recruit anything. There's no value in the market. And you're going to throw in a kid, which is 18 years of age, called Obi Martin. God bless him. I hope we just don't burn him down. And by the way, based on the statements that they came out from the club, Man United are happy. We're not going to do anything more. Well, basically, that means that you retracted now players that you were planning to give a loan, like Bian Sherry. He was supposed to go to Como, retracted. Harry Amas was supposed to go on loan, also retracted. That means that, are we going to utilize the kids for the remaining of the season? Well, I hope so. Potentially we have more time to integrate the youth, and that might be the saving grace that we're not going to go in and spend, because our under 18s and 21s are good enough. They just had not been given chances. They have not been able to train, and Ruben Amorim haven't had enough time to integrate everything on the pitches of yet. So there is a double-edged sword, in my opinion. Yale, what you're saying here, I do not listen to MUFC BP. I just use them as an aggregator because they just aggregate everything what's been said. It's so much easier to just use that. Yeah, I know, but they're just aggregating what everyone is saying, right? Whatever Fabrizio Romano is saying, they repost. So that's so much easier to collect the news. I know. No disrespect for Dorgo and his announcement, this tweet. Well, of course, they did announce like Dorgo, like he was a new signing at the end of the day. Clever. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Ricardo Pereira, 100% what you're saying here. I agree what Nick is saying, 100%. George Vukovic, big up. Mick, we won't win Euros. We are screwed. No transfer money. Yeah, if we don't win the Euros, there's no transfer money. We need to go strong in FA Cup and the Euros, right? Europa League. Right? If freaking... What bothers me is that Spurs beat us for Tell. What a farcical story, right? Spurs came in and splashed the cash, showed buy-in, like, we got money to spend. Tell rejected it. Man United came in and inquired about the Tell with a loan with no obligation to buy. They basically said, yeah, you can have him, but if you pay a loan fee, hefty loan fee, 10 million. And then Man United says, screw you, we're not going to pay 10 million or even 5 million pounds, what it works out to. But imagine if Tell now, and Spurs came in and say, okay, we will pay you, we're desperate. But imagine if now Tell starts cooking. Tell starts cooking and we meet Spurs in the finals, in the Euro, and he scores. Abba. I don't want to live that moment. Jay Patel, big up. Jim the Rat, what are you saying here? Jim the Rat sees United as a cash cow, nothing else. Yeah, true. We did a lengthy video about this. I'm not going to sort of reiterate myself, but we spoke about the PDL 192, where Ineos actually owns the shell gas and the fracking rights underneath, Carrington and Old Trafford, and they want to knock down the stadium and move it. And Ineos is hanging in there because the land back assets, what, the greater Manchester area is going to do. Even Goldbridge were talking about this yesterday. It was spot on, So we are stuck with them. It is what it is. But what are we doing as a team? How are we going to progress? I mean, Ruben was telling us that we are in for a perfect storm. We are suffering. He said, we got to suffer, and we are suffering. 13th in the league, and the league is over. They're written off the season. And I can understand that they didn't want to spend money because what difference is going to make if the league is over? Well, you still have Europa League, bloody hell, and FA Cup. You win FA Cup, you get into Europa League. You win Europa League, you get money, you get into what? Champions League, guys. Ricardo Pereira, if things go well, and this is big if, because of United's owners, this is a long-term project. It is a long-term project. It is a vanity project, right? How are we going to compete by recruiting kids? Yeah. Omar Barada wasn't stupid when he said, we are looking to compete and win the league in 2028. We are looking to get a new stadium done by 2032. And so we're still going to pay this ridiculous ticket prices for a leaking stadium and rat-infested stadium. Oh my God. That is basically ludicrous, man. Ludicrous. But we are sort of become like a little bit of a Brighton feeder club, by the way. I applaud this strategy to recruit the unknown, of course. We are becoming like a Brighton, we are planting the seed and hope they become world beaters, right? But have you ever seen Brighton winning anything in the recruitment model? No, the way they win is they basically get Casados and all the gems for £5 million and they sell them off for 100 million. That is the project what they're looking at, because they're looking at pure profit, what they can sort of beat the PSR. Man United used to sort of at least recruit balanced approach, like ready-made players and introduce academies. But right now what I'm seeing is just going to be potentials, right? Potentials recruits. Anyway, I'm scared, to be honest. I'm scared, Ricardo. Yale, we didn't get 3 players in January. Yeah, we did. We did get Diego Leon, another prospect, left wing back. We got Haven in as well from Arsenal, and of course Patrick Dogo. Yeah. So we also know what Ineos and Ruben has spoken about, 100%. Yolo, big up, Yolo Mohammed. What you saying here? Yolo saying Ineos and Glazers are like 6 and a 9. 6 and 9. Glazers and Ineos out. I agree, man. I agree. If only we had the Qatar bid. Listen, they would have cleared their debt. But the problem is what I said in yesterday's video is that the way this takeover was handled, right? You know, desperately, they were looking for minority investors. Glazers were bleeding. They didn't have any money. Yeah, the credit facility maxed out. In comes Ratcliffe, reduces his proposal from 51 or 61% down to 27% and gives Glazers 2 million straight into the pocket. At least he was given the contract to run the operations for 18 months. If he was smart enough, he would say, okay, take that 500 million and put it back into the club. Take out of those 2 billion that he gave the Glazers, he could have told them in one condition, at least take 500 million and put it back, repaid some of the debts, and we would never be in this situation. So that tells me that they talk about football first, but it's still business first. You look at the overall stadium development, it's a white horse, it's a white elephant, it's a project, right? You're talking football first by recruiting best-in-class people, gaslighting people. The best-in-class in what? Best-in-class in what? We don't even have a bloody sporting director because you sacked him. Because that sporting director was the only Sam person to say, what is the point? You recruited players for Ten Hag, and now you're going to sack Ten Hag and recruit a manager that plays a different style of play, 3 in the back, and we don't even have a squad, and you recruited for that manager. He was the only same person that called it out, and therefore they sacked him. And where's the sporting director now? No, they're all speaking the same hymn sheet. They're all saying the same thing. No value in the market. We will build in the summer. Is it me, or am I just talking out of my hat? Anyway, it is what it is. That's what I said. Like, you know, we're going from worst to best. So brace yourself. Brace yourself. 1 year into the Ineos ownership. And we're going to talk about the ticketing prices. So hold on. I got a video to share with you. Yes, Jarle, most of the people want to tell, but he himself not scored at all season and has played 12 games. Spurs did a panic buy. Yeah, loan. Yeah, spending 60 million in the summer. Yeah, no, true. But still, we needed an attacking option, right? We let go of 2 attacking wingers in terms of Anthony and Rashford, and left with this thin squad. At least what they could have done is replenish 1. They chose not to. Big up Fred the Red. Mick Biancheri is being promoted to the first team. I told you that before because they retracted his loan move to Como. The first team, look at my latest report about him, to put his score 16th. Yeah, he's a beast, Biancheri. You have Abragimovic as well. You have lots of good players that could be integrated and rotated. And finally, we get to see what they're all about. Because what is it to lose, Fred? What is it to lose? The Premier League season is gone, and now you have more time to train and integrate. And Biancheri, for crying out loud, you also have Hariyamas. Now that Luke Shaw is injured, of course, Hariyama's going to be upgraded, in my opinion. We have Chris all the way from Twitter coming in 2028. Yeah, that was Omar Barada's statement. Look it up. We're going to challenge 2028. That means that we are building a squad to challenge for 2028. And on the other hand, we have Mr. Open Heart Surgery Ragnick that said we need a cosmetic open heart surgery. Doesn't have to take more than 1 year. God, we should have kept him. We should have at least recruited him as a sporting director. He knew what he was talking about. Jarle, but what you're saying here as well, United did have a cheaper ticket than the most other teams, but I do feel the elderly should not have gotten their tickets and raised, and also the kids, no concession. Yeah, it's a disgrace. We're going to talk about that one as well in a moment. Ed Barrett, big up Ed Barrett. What are you saying? Has anyone seen Harry Amos lately? He's one football profile as him at 6 feet tall. That's true. He's ready. Yeah, no, we saw him in the preseason. I saw statements they retracted the loan. He's not going anywhere. And basically with Luke Shaw injury as well. Crikey. Please, Ineos, please. Yeah, Deliso, I agree with you. We have Abraham. Hey, Mick, I'm the Man United fan, and And I'm Glazers out and Jim Ratcliffe out. Really hope they go under. Right. We are stuck with them. Yarlo, what you saying here? Did you think that Glazers will ever sell Man United fully? Well, there was some report in Central Devils yesterday that they're looking potentially to go and put the club in auction again 2025 in November. But that was kind of, I don't know. They're not taking dividends. The stadium development is going to take another 8 to 10 years. And by then, they're not getting any money. The ticketing prices they're raising is 100%, Glazers works, and Ineos is doing the dirty deeds. They want to pretty much abolish the season ticket fans and just sell expensive tickets to tourists. That's what they want to do. And that is a shame, because you will not have the same feeling at Old Trafford again. You don't have the consistency of chance ever again. The match-going fans are the heart and soul. And they're trying to sort of get rid of that. They're selling tickets to, away fans to stand in the East stand, in the, Stretford end. And it's just dangerous. We've seen it so many times. What the hell? Glasgow Rangers against Man United, Europa League. The fuck was that all about? Seriously, you're begging for trouble. One day you're going to have a massive brawl and a tragedy. To be honest. Bring back Ed Woodward. Liam, you troll. No way. Ed Woodward is taking a massive cut the way he's sitting, 1.5% anyway. He took a massive profit by this takeover of Ineos. Yolim Amin is saying a little bird has mentioned that Olim might bring Cass to Turkey. Yeah, why not? But if I know Cass right, he will reject the move. He likes fish and chips too much. Listen, Casemiro has a contract valid to 2027. He's handsomely paid. And why would he go? They tried to force him out. But he was sitting there thinking up the place and thinking, no way, I'm going to sit here because contractually, I can do that, but his legs is gone. At least Eriksen's contract is out. Lindelof's contract is out. 2 players out of the door. Marcus Rashford will never come back to United again. I'm pretty much sure he's going to be sold in the summer. So there's money to be spent the way I see it, logistically speaking. Should we start protesting? Well, yeah, we should. That protest died. And the video that I did yesterday, the janitor, and it's pretty much that Glazers took a lot of heat by the protest, which hurt them, their brands and the business brand. So the overarching to give the contract or the minority to Ineos was pretty much to Ineos to be the punching bag, right? The Ineos, the Glazers still there, but they're not getting the heat. And the protest died because everyone was flabbergasted. It was gaslighted. Ooh, we're going to get the best in class sporting rector, sporting structure. Yeah, fine. We did. But it's still Glazers calling the shot. We saw that in the January. No value in the market. Again. And that is Glazeronomics, in my opinion. And the ticketing prices. What do we have here? Deliso, Ineos, please. I want to Pogba Gurka. No, Pogba. No way. Why do you want to bring Pogba back? He hasn't played football for 2 years, my friend. He was toxic, a big PR personality. Ruben is trying to sort of get rid of that. He wants to have one team only, and he wants to be the main guy, right? We are trying to get rid of the player power. To bring back Pogba, yeah, I saw that report, but, Rio Ferdinand was saying, please bring him back and play and assess him. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, why not? I don't know. Could it be any worse? If he's changed his mind, he's become humble. I don't know. But, we need strength and body everywhere. We are losing bodies. We don't have anything. We're paper thin at the moment. So Rio was saying that. No, I don't know, man. Sometimes these ex-players, they're talking out of the gobshite, to be honest, right? If you look at Gary Neville, he's been compromised by the Glazers. He's on the payroll. All of these ex-players and pundits, they are on the payroll, except for I don't know, man. They're all talking shite anyway. If you look at who is the land boss around the, you know, who owns Hotel Football and has been part of the council and the rebuilding around the Old Trafford area, Gary Neville. Does he speak against the Glazers anymore? No. Does he speak anything about the Ineos project? No. He's right up there. Land boss, land boss, land boss. Yeah. Anyway, Sir Jim Ratcliffe needs. I mean, I had enough. I've seen enough. 1 year. 1 year. They ain't got no money. As soon as you are now gaslighting the fans that you're gonna build the stadium of the North, the biggest and greatest stadium, filling 100,000 people, it's a white horse. And then you see the reports that saying it's not gonna happen until 8 to 9 years. So we're gonna still stand there on a leaking stadium, really? And you're gonna increase the ticketing prices to stand there? Are you having a laugh, mate? Look, I want to share a video at the end of the day, guys, because the ticketing scam is absolutely diabolical, right? There was a video from a season ticket holder. He did a TikTok video, and you know, that was shared within my group, and I was going, "Are you having a laugh?" So let's listen to what he had to say. It is the overall app what they created, which means that if you can't go to the game, the ticket goes back to Man United and they sell it for more expensive. But there's more to it. It's getting worse. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring up this guy on TikTok that I...
Club, the ticket service, you are an absolute fucking joke. So my ticket for the Leicester game on Friday bounced apparently early January. I didn't even know this happened. I checked my United ticket app this week to see if it was there and it wasn't. So I thought, you know what, I'll ring up. I ring up, right, and go, "Hi, love, my ticket's not there. Can I pay for it now, or has something happened, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Oh, right, blah, blah, blah. The ticket was supposed to be paid in January. It didn't get paid, so now we've got rid of your ticket." So first of all, I'm fuming at that, but that's not even the worst part. It gets miles worse. I go, "Oh, sorry, love. You know, I'm sorry about the ticket bouncing. You know, like I pay into my personal account through a business account. Like I must not have had the money in there at the end of the year. Obviously, what happened again, blah, blah, blah." I'm being very apologetic. She then goes, "Are you going to buy a ticket for the game then? A general one?" I went, "Well, no, because I normally go with my friends, so like if I can't sit with them, there's no point in going, I'm not bothered." She went, "There will be consequences if you don't buy a ticket." I went, "You what?" She goes, "If you don't buy a ticket, we can suspend you for one of your Premier League games."
Did you hear that? He phoned up and say, "Well, are you going to buy? If you don't buy a ticket, you will be suspended for one of the Premier League games. So if you don't buy a ticket again, you will be suspended as a season ticket holder. And that means that you will be suspended and they're going to use your ticket and sell it for a higher price."
So the FA Cup game against Leicester on Friday, if I didn't buy a ticket over the phone, they would have chose a Prem game to suspend my season ticket from. So she goes, "Do you want to buy a ticket?" Well, I went, "Well, what fucking choice have you given me?" "Yeah, I do." So I've got a ticket in the area that I sit in, whatever, right? But that's a fucking joke. Someone from the older generation who ain't too good with technology, doesn't think to check the United ticket app, doesn't know how to ring up and ring the ticket office or check their emails or see that a payment's bounced. That is a fucking joke. You are blackmailing people with their season tickets that we pay yearly, by the way. I paid £900 this year for my season ticket, and you're threatening to suspend it when I don't go to a cup game. I've paid for that season ticket. How the fuck can you suspend me? Fucking paid 41 quid for Leicester now. I'll be there Friday, but that's a fucking joke. Fucking Ineos this, fucking Ineos that.
Yep. Do you get it? Do you get that scam, man? This is extortion, what they're doing. I was going, unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're forcing the guy to buy a ticket again. He's a season ticket holder. He paid 900 quid a year and he's entitled to go, and he bounced, the ticket bounced, so he had to buy a ticket. And said, "Do you want to buy a ticket again?" "No, love, I usually go with my mates, and that's the purpose of having a season ticket." So they say basically, if you don't buy, there'll be consequences. If you don't buy a ticket, you might be suspended. You will be suspended for any of these Premier League games. What a fucking joke. And this is how they're going to get the money. And that's what he said. This app is ridiculous. What if you're an old pensioner, you can't really read, and why if you didn't call and you find out you've been suspended? Shame on you, Ineos, and shame on you fucking Glazers, to be honest. This made me absolutely hurl Zeus, big up. Everyone, big up. Yeah. Guys, damn. Yeah, you see what is damn. You know what? What's your reaction? What is your reaction? I want to hear from you. You feel his anger. It's basically we fans are paying for their mistakes, right? Okay, there's no money, but why are you punishing the fans? Without the fans, there is no Manchester United. We are your consumers. We are the one that's going to the match. We are the one buying the merch and everything else. Without the fans, there would not be any club. There would not be any revenues. You feel his anger. It's clear. What he did not say in this video is that he could have sold the ticket back to the club. Yeah, but even if he did, the club would just take his ticket and sell it on the market for a higher price than 66 quid. It will be an auction, mate. Be a fucking auction. Volps, big up. January window is always dead window. To be fair, I expected nothing more. We've been gaslighted, mate. 100%. The only one that can help us is God. Yeah, mate. Bankrupt people tend to be nasty. Yikes. Listen, at the end of the day, Jack, I said it so many times. You are not a billionaire without walking over corpse. Nobody invests 2 billion of your own money without expecting any return on investment. You're kidding me. Did you just give Glazers 2 billion of your own money just to have, be remembered as the one potentially saving Man United? You didn't save jack shit. As what I said earlier, if you give 2 billion to the Glazers, at least you can put in a condition in that buyback clause, in the clause, to say at least 500 of that, 500 million, put it back into the debt. Because, hey, we are Ineos, we are apparently running the footballing operations, and now we're doing this, all the cut costs and measures and increasing the ticket prices. What a scam. What a fucking scam. Anyway, I had enough. So we need to take the power back, 100%. But people are too afraid. There's people, I might lose my season ticket holder. I'm afraid to protest. Yes, the protest died. 1958 and everyone else, it's time to protest. It's time to put the pressure back on this ownership. Right? We thought we were worse under the Glazers, but they've just been gaslighting us and being now Ocean's 11, including the Sir Jim Ratcliffe. They're buddies, right? Buddies. They're not going to spend one single penny on the stadium. Everything's going to be sponsored, right? We spoke about, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to put in his money, it would be something called debt to equity, that we require more Class B shares. But I don't see this happening, guys. I don't see. It's not the Super League. It's all about the land bank assets. And they're not going to build the stadium. Anything not going to be developed until 2032, according to the reports. So we're calling it out. That's what we do. So fans, the only thing that we can do is unite and get our voices heard. Anyway, I had enough. I always ask you guys the question, how do you feel to be a Man United fan? Like 11 years we haven't won anything. Then you hear statements that we're not going to challenge in 2028. Then we see a recruitment policy that we're just going to buy kids. And then we're looking at it from PSR reasons to, being like a Norwegian salmon farm, just sell off the expensive salmon from the academy. Yeah. Get toddlers in, watch them grow to full developed players and sell them off for profit. What the hell is going on? Somebody just basically look at the PSR rules and rewrite them. Anyway, it is what it is, guys. And look, we are playing Leicester this weekend, and I do want to see us win the FA Cup 100%. I do want to see Ruben and the players put in some form of revenge towards the letdown, right? Even Ricardo, there is a Portuguese fan. I know. You know that Ruben is a winner. Like, he won the league. He was like comfortably sitting there with Sporting, winning the league, winning the Champions League, not losing one single game. To come to this shit, right? They promised him, yeah, you will be back, Ruben. You will be back. Come now. But I want to come in this summer so I can have a proper pre-season in my recruitment. No, you need to come now. Well, what was the purpose? You could have stuck with Erik ten Hag to the end of the season, see his contract out, and then get Ruben we would not be worse what we are now. So Ineos fucked up. They fucked up. And Glazers never spent one single penny. We know that. Anyway, guys, I had enough of this shit, to be honest. We are here as a community, always looking with the logic and reasoning, always following the facts. And, you know, we've seen this script before. Nothing has changed. Only the mask. Basically, we used to see the Glazer clown mask. That is just switched over to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Dale Brailsford. They're wearing the Glazers mask at the moment, and they are acting as the contractors, the janitors. Really, doing the Glazers' dirty deeds. Yeah, so we have one final thing. Fred the Red is saying, Mick, my missus asked me if I wanted a new Man United shirt for my birthday, and I told her no, not why the club is owned by the Afghan and the artful Dodger pickpockets run the club. Look, mate, I hear you, and I don't buy anything original. Everything is copy, right? Who cares? But at the end of the day, I don't want to wear the original because that is sponsoring, right? But I still want to be associated. I still want to wear the badge of the club that I love and support. But guys, we will be back with more further stories. Nothing more is coming out there. There's been some contradictory report that we will be struggling in to do the proper rebuild. It's going to be a massive rebuild, believe it or not, because if you got Ruben Amorim that plays a different style of play, you need to recruit for him. You know, half of this squad can't even play his style of play. So what they're going to do, I don't know. It looks like they're going to sort of train the academy players to play that style and utilize the academy players. That might be the salvation. We don't know. But until then, we're not shying away from speaking the truth, or at least closest to the truth. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we should be back a little bit later if there's something else coming on, or also Ruben Amorim's press conference tomorrow, guys. Big up for you. Glory, glory, Man United. Remember, Glazers out, Bankers out, and Ineos out. It's been Mick Ruby, Mufc RealistTV. Having my say, and hopefully I made it a more sensible day. Cheers. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC RealistTV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.